To S3 students, for this lesson, we will introduce how to calculate the net profit and also the advanced version of how to calculate the gross profit. So, for the net profit, last time I believe we have introduced that for the net profit we need to count the gross profit, okay, and then plus other revenue R and then minus the expense, and we should classify these 12 items into the revenue and expense as well. And just to remind you, for the revenue, that means we receive, okay? We receive the money, okay? That means you will say it's a plus, okay? However, for the expenses, it should be minus. That means we paid out the money to others, okay? For example, the rent, electricity, and water, sundry expense, carriage hours. So I might just remind you, for the carriage hours, it should be um, C415, okay? It's delivery expenses, okay? And also we have two opposite items right here for the discount received and discount allowed, okay? So one is received, the discount should be revenue, and you allow a discount to your customers, okay? So it will be expenses, okay? So and now we'll move on to examples that are how to calculate the net profit. So from this example 6, you'll find the we need to calculate three things, including the gross uh, cost of goods sold, gross profit, and the net profit. So first start with the cost of goods sold. For the cost of goods sold, we need to have the formula start with the opening inventory plus the purchases minus the closing inventory, okay? So for the opening inventory should be the earlier date, and then we have the closing inventory right here, the latest, and also the purchases. So we fill in the numbers, okay, and then minus the closing inventory. So if you have the calculator, you can get the final amount. It should equal to 99,100, okay? And then we'll move on to the gross profit. So for the gross profit, we need to have the sales minus the cost of goods sold, okay? This one is the cost of goods sold. So for the sales, we have it right here, and then we minus the cost of goods sold will come from part 1, and then we got the final answer. It should equal to 88,900, okay? And the last part we form it will be the net profit. So remember the net profit, that means NP equal to the GP plus the revenue minus the expenses. So GP is the gross profit. And we have the expenses, okay? Our expenses I use this is the expenses and also the expenses, and we also have the revenue, okay? Have the revenue. So we just plug in the numbers. GP, we got it 88,900, and then we have to add the revenue and then minus the expenses. So if you have the calculator, you can get the final amount. It should equal to 36,700. So now you should try practice 4 by yourself. And for practice 4, please, for the calculation, please show the working. Okay. And you need to calculate the gross profit. That means the GP, you need to find the sales minus the cost of goods sold. Okay, so you need to calculate the cost of goods sold separately. Okay, in order to get the um, amount of the GP, and you can check the answer right here. Okay, so after you do it, please check the answer. And for the net profit, remember the formula should be GP, that means come from part 1, and then plus revenue minus the expenses. So you need to identify the revenue and expenses by itself. So just to remind you, for the revenue, commission received is the revenue, and for the expenses, we have the discount allowed and administration expenses. So after you do it, please check the answer by yourself. And then we go to practice 5. So please also do practice 5 as well. So for practice 5, you need to calculate the gross profit and the net profit. Just to remind you, certain items may not be may not be used in the calculation of part 1 and part 2. You need to find, the hints is that you need to find 2 items that are irrelevant. Okay, so the hints is right here. Please try to find it. And of course, after you have the calculation, you can check the answer by yourself right here. And please, while you're doing, please show the workings. Okay.